that. So, so she's on her way, but it's going to be a big recovery for her with, you know, that kind of surgery. So, hi, Sherry, glad you're here. So we will use a chair for part of class today. Okay, so have your chair and your mat available. We're going to start standing. Doug's joining us as well. So, hey there, Doug, I can actually see you today. That's good. So we'll have a standing practice today. We'll use the chair to have next to us for some balancing. And then we'll also get ourselves on the ground onto a mat, okay? So glad you're here, Doug. It's good to see you. And know that you're able to still join us, so that's good. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get standing and have that chair by you for some balance. But we may not need to balance ourselves to find ourselves in mountain pose. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to warm up our joints and our body by starting standing, and at the end we'll close with some laying down postures. Okay, so first is just take our hands and open them up in a receptive way. And as we do this, feel our feet grounded and parallel to one another as they take that nice alignment all the way up through our legs into our hips. And then we can just feel a sense of not too much contraction, but also not like a total release here in our core, okay? So that, you know, it takes core to stand up. It takes core to get onto the ground and stand up. It takes core to sit down and stand up. It takes core in everything we do. So just be conscious of that, okay? And then you're gonna feel your glutes engaging as we let our feet, again, continue to be more connected with the earth. And as this area connects, we lift up a bit here, separating in between our ribs, but actually separating them but pulling them in a bit at the same time, okay? Lifting up through our chest, letting this beautiful clavicle collarbone be exposed and open and ready to greet the heavens as well. Shoulders feel relaxed, arms dangle. We feel the blood flowing into our fingertips. We need that blood flow into our extremities, especially when it's cold now. And then we make sure our head's on straight. And then go ahead, if you're comfortable, closing your eyes or taking a semi-closed position with your eyes. Soft gaze. And just feel your body's reaction to standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. And do you feel this little wave of energy that's kind of circulating there? And you can feel your body just taking itself in different directions without you really doing it, right? It's just happening. And that's just that subtle shift of weight on our feet and in the weight of our body as it stands here in this position. As we're standing in Tadasana, have just a slight bend in your knees so that we are not exaggerating that straight knee, okay? We don't want to do that. We want to have a little suppleness there. And then as your eyes are kind of closed or semi-closed, just feel the 4 points of your foot planting down as you pick up your toes. And just notice how just picking up your toes changes maybe a little bit of the balance for you. And that's if your feet are free of socks and shoes. If not, just continue to be present with feet on the ground. And then placing all the toes back down, and notice how that increases the balance in this Tadasana. And it increases our ability to place the weight more centered or a little bit forward there. And then let's go ahead and let our chin come down to our chest. Feel that opening in the back of the neck. Let yourself dangle here. All we're releasing right now is your neck, chin to chest. Again, continue to soften those knees. Continue to breathe. You open up your eyes now, you'll see your belly expanding outward. On your in-breath, then bringing it back, almost sucking it back, navel to spine. As you're watching this expansion and contraction, you'll notice, I kind of forgot about the backside of my neck and the tension that was there may now be somewhat released. Let's do 2 more big Buddha breaths, watching that expansion and contraction. And then lifting our chin back so that it is parallel to the ground. And then let's let the chin rise up. Gaze comes up as well. As we're here, feel those clavicles, the right in front, this collarbone, lifting up as well. Feel your shoulders coming down. Feel this lifting up into your chest area, just with the tilt of your head. Keeping yourself still nicely balanced on the 4 corners of your feet and your toes. Continue feeling your breath, even though you don't see it. Feel that belly expanding out on the inhale and pulling back on itself on the exhale. 2 more, please. On the exhale, take your chin back down so that we are hovering there, right, parallel to the ground. I'm gonna let my right ear come over, oh yeah, and let itself go towards my right shoulder. I'm not gonna lift my left shoulder up with it, okay? So let it pull down and let yourself open there, finding that release in the side of your neck. Breathing still in and out through your belly here. Savoring that stretch. Focusing on our breath. Next, inhale. Slowly lift your head back up into center, putting that head back on straight. And then I'm gonna let my left ear come over towards my left shoulder, pulling down on my right shoulder because it wants to come up too, especially if I'm really tight there, okay? So I'm gonna let that come down. It's all right, now you just let him get over it. My dog's excited because lunch just got here. And then just let yourself go here. Feel that release. Feel your breath. And next inhale, send yourself back up to your head on straight. And let's do 1 more thing here with the neck. Let your chin come to center. Roll it over with an inhale towards your right shoulder. Look up. Exhale it back through the center. Inhale it over towards your left shoulder. Lift a bit. Send it on down with an exhale. And repeat this little half sphere here. Half circle. With your breath, right? Lifting, inhaling. Exhaling. And reminding yourself not to have locked knees, right? To be loose in those knees. Supple knees, soft knees. Ujjayi breath in and out through your nose. 1 more semicircle, please. Back to center. Lifting up. And then let's bend into the knees. And let's just take some pulse pulses there. Our feet are staying flat. We're going to feel that in our calf muscle, in our glutes, and in our quadriceps. But this is just really gentle. It's just some warming up. And it's also to make sure that we were not keeping our knees real contracted there, right? We want to have them be nice and supple. This is good for movement, free flow movement, okay? And then let's go ahead and just, again, lift into straighter legs, but supple knees. Let's take our shoulders and move those around. Working our way down through the joints of our body here. Inhale. And exhale, pull back, squeeze, pull down, keep going. With your breath. Take it into any kind of a little bend in your knees if you feel you're starting to contract too much there. Using breath through your nose. Good, let's reverse that. And let's start doing that, bending through the knees as we come down with the shoulders, straightening as we pull up. Exhale. Exhale. Inhale. Take it down, let go. 2 more times. And coming down. Let's keep that nice little gentle bend in our knees, lifting our arms up here. Let's go ahead and take circles with our wrists and maybe feeling a little bit of, or hearing possibly some clicking or clacking here as we move into our wrists. And let's reverse that. And I'm just extending my arms out so we can get a little work into the arms and the chest here too. Okay, you could do this any position you would like. And then let's bend into our arms. And again, you can keep the knees a little supple and bent, or you can, straighten them a little bit more. And now let's make fists. And let's, like we've got streamers or something coming out of our hands. And we want to spread those colors around. And we're going to keep our elbows lifted at about shoulder height, okay? And we're getting into our elbow joints now a little bit more. And if you make those a little bit bigger, you may start to feel rocking with your whole torso. And here you want to bend into your knees a little bit to really let your body flow with this movement, okay? And then let's take it in the other direction. And that might seem a little bit more uncommon when you go in the other direction, especially with one arm. At least for me, it does. I can feel that I'm definitely a one-sided being. But this is good to do these symmetrical movements because then we're able to even out a little bit more. And then I'm just going to take it into not so much of my upper body, but just come back into my elbows again. And then relax my arms down. Bend into my knees. Inhale and lift up. Lengthen. Exhale, take myself into a bend. My hands come behind me, keeping my back flat, looking straight down. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale here. Just some nice little vinyasa flow here. Okay, not taking it all the way down into forward fold, just into that flat spine where you're going to feel the crown of your head reaching towards me, your tailbone reaching back. One of my teachers yesterday, I was taking her class and she said, this is where the butt head came into expression. And that being a butt head is good because our heads and our butts, and I don't use that term very much in my classes, I prefer to say glutes or hips, but there's this connection right through the energy of our crown of our head and our tailbone. Let's do 2 more. This is your inhale. This is your exhale. Hopefully you're starting to get a little bit warm here. And then bringing ourselves up here. Let's take and interlace our hands, except for our index finger. Okay, leave that pointed. Bring it up and let's move into half moon position here. Okay, and so I'm going to come on over to my right side or any side, it doesn't matter, because we're going to do both sides. I'm going to lengthen my index finger like I'm pointing a little bit farther away, right? And my exhales, I may feel myself lower. On my inhales, I might feel myself lengthen a little bit more. See if that happens for you. Yes, and then pull yourself up with your core. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And take yourself on over to the opposite side, stretching through the ribs on one side, squeezing into the other side, trying to keep your hips even, your feet evenly weighted, shoulders stacking one on top of the other again. Inhale, lengthen, exhale. One more big breath here. Pull your belly in, lift on up. And exhale. Taking the hands on down. All right, let's start moving into our lower body and opening that. And we'll get into using those chairs in a second. Just taking hands to your hips. And let's take some circles here. Okay. And you can take your feet out as wide as you like. You know, maybe a little more than hips distance just to stay balanced, but wherever feels good for you. And let's see how big we can make those circles. Can we extend ourselves forward, left, right, behind? Again, really good for getting ready for dancing, getting those hips ready for walking. Let's go around the other way. And just getting the lubrication we need into our joints, okay, to warm them these cold days, even though the sun is out, and we should get out and get some sun, some vitamin D today. Shoveling, as Evelyn is, or doing something outside. I'm gonna try to get my dogs out and walk them today. One more big circle. Good. And then let's go ahead and take a hold of the side of that chair just for balance. Some of you may not need this, okay? But if you do, just have that chair, and that's it's a good precaution just to have it anyways. And then we're just going to lift up that outside knee from whatever side you're at and take some circles with that ankle, getting down into our toes maybe as well, squeezing them as we go around. And then reversing that. And then I'm going to take and move my hip in circles, okay? And those circles can be really small. Those circles can be bigger, right? If you're getting them bigger, you really have that external rotation, then you bring it inward into that internal rotation, okay? Even if they're small, you're doing that, and you're still getting in to all the action there. Let's reverse, going into the opposite side. And this is where that chair becomes a little handy, because it does get tiring on that standing leg to do this, but that tiring means strengthening as well. Okay, lift it up and then lower it down. And let's walk our legs out just a bit here. And then I'm going to switch sides with my chair. You guys can turn the other direction if you like. And I'm going to get into this other leg. So this leg now that was moving gets a chance to be the stabilizer, right? This one's going to take the height that it needs or wants. And then I begin that basic flexing and pointing with circles of my ankle there. On the opposite side, whatever that is for you. Maybe squeezing in the toes a bit there. And then going around in the opposite direction. And reminding ourselves, okay, am I breathing? Deep, slow, full breaths. And when I say, are you breathing out there for you all, it's mostly help me remember, hey, Julie, are you breathing? Okay, so, and then go ahead and take circles with your hip, your knee. And maybe those are little, maybe they're bigger, okay? Find what you need, and I'm doing this especially for me today because yesterday I taught 2 classes and took 1 class, and so my glutes, my hips are feeling it today. So I thought I'm not going to baby them. I'm going to get in and get some more work done on them, and I'm going to go around in the opposite way. And I'm trying to maintain balance. This leg is pushing me off balance, right? But I'm still trying to maintain as much connectivity with this standing leg as I can. And then releasing down. I'm going to walk it out. All right, so now turn towards the chair. And we're going to be working on both sides of this chair. But first, let's walk back. We did this yesterday in our chair class, just to lengthen the back of the legs and lengthen our spine, okay? So find yourself, and hopefully your chair is on some non-stick surface, right? So that you don't go sliding away. Tailbone back. Crown forward, that butt head alignment there. And from here, walk your feet up just a little bit, okay? And take them about max distance, toes out, heels in, and I'm going to begin some squats here, okay? Chair can be used or not. You can have your hands at your hips, out in front, to the sides, but also you can use the chair because the thing we're going to do when we rise up is we're going to come into the balls of our feet, okay? So back to flat feet, come into squat, rise up, come on to the balls of your feet. That's where that chair comes in really handy. And come on down, keep your hands on the chair the entire time. You're still getting this nice strengthening for the legs. As we do this, remember constant contact, consciousness of our core, okay? Inhaling here, exhaling here. Lift, strengthen, release down. Now some of you are thinking, this is like when I was in ballet when I was a little kid. I was in ballet. I was a fat little kid. Very embarrassing to be in that little tutu. 2 more, please. But you know that this pose, this squatting pose, is used in so many different areas, right? Go ahead and bring your feet back in so that they're about hips distance. Used in ballet, they're used in martial arts, it's used in yoga, it's used, you know, in so many different ways to keep those hips open and to strengthen our legs. So we use it as a goddess pose, right? And so now we're back into feet parallel. I'm going to lift both arms up. Inhale here. No need for the chair right this moment. Come into cactus arms. Take your hips towards the back side of that chair. Let your heart expand. Open. Inhale, lift up. Nice and long here. Fingers expand out. Exhale, cactus arms. Take yourself on back. Exhale through your mouth. 2 more times. Inhale, lift, lengthen in through your nose. This time out through your mouth. Una vez más. One more time. Lengthen, lengthen. And exhale. Take it down. Open up. Rising and up. Exhale. Hands come down. Good. And then let's go ahead and switch that chair around to the other side. And we're going to go ahead and take our hands onto the chair. Back is flat. And you guys with the Zoom here, you're able to see, how you are in space. And this is a good feedback for us, really, okay? And when we do it, it's not to be at all critical of ourselves. It's so that we can learn and find what our alignment is for our safety. All right, we're going to come onto our forearms on that chair, okay? So your tailbone is up higher now. Your back is at an angle. Forearms are down. So it would be like we were doing maybe a puppy pose out of a down dog, where our weight is going to be on our forearms. So start to bring your weight a little bit forward here, so that my head is coming closer to the back of the chair. I'm just going to feel a little more weight on those forearms, and then take my tailbone back. And let me do that one more time. Just take my weight forward, making sure, because I'm in a bit of a forward fold. So I want to have core strength here. And then I'm going to come back to my hands on the front part of the chair, walk myself back, take my tailbone back behind me here. And from here, high on the balls of the feet, bring myself forward into plank pose. Okay, and I'm showing you these all on the chair because we're going to do them on the ground. But I want you all to know you can come back to the chair instead of doing it on the ground here in just a bit. Exhale, take yourself back. High on the balls of your feet. Bring yourself forward, plank. Take yourself on back. And one more time, forward, pulling into the core, come into plank. Really strong legs here. Take yourself back. Now we're going to go into three-legged dog. Again, using the chair, and then in a little while we'll be doing it on the ground. I'm going to let my left foot stay on the ground, my right foot comes behind me, and I lift it up. Lift it up as high as I feel like I want to, trying to maintain my hips in alignment. Three-legged variation of the three-legged dog here. And then I want to take my knee towards my nose 3 times. Push back through my heel. Exhale when I come in, closing in on myself. I'm going to do that one more time. Stretching back here, letting my right foot come down, walking out my knees high on the balls of my feet. Walk out those knees. Feel that in the glutes, in your calves, and then placing heels down. And from here, high on the balls of your feet, bring yourself forward into plank. And exhale back. Taking weight into my right foot, let my left foot come back. Flex into that foot. Really feel length here in this variation of three-limbed dog. Breathing here. And then taking knee to nose 3 times. I think the other time we did 4, so let's do 4. Even though I said 3, I think I did 4. I don't know. It gets pretty bad when I can't keep track between 3 and 4. Send yourself back here. Yeah, feels good. And take your left foot down and walk out your knees, legs, feet. Come to stillness. Exhale, take that tailbone back, high on the balls of your feet. Come forward into plank. This time, hold here in this plank. And from here, if you want, stay like this or bend into your elbows and then bring yourself up. You may not bend very far. You may not bend at all. You might just be staying there, feeling what that's like to hover and have yourself weighted into your arms and the balls of your feet. And then from here, push back again, exhale down. And then walk your feet up to the front of the chair. Release your hands, inhale, rise up. Exhale back, cactus arms, open up, look. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands come down. All right, go ahead and turn towards me, and that chair is still there. We're going to still use it. I'm going to take my foot that's closest to the chair, up onto the chair, toes turned away. And I'm setting myself up for a warrior two. Again, a version of warrior two. And we'll do it on the ground here. And people have the option to stay here on the chair. Take your arms out. Take a look over the arm of the bent knee and the chair. And just find yourself present here. You might think, wow, this is just too easy for me. But let's stay together here and let's just see what you can gain from this. Open up your fingers really wide. Take a look. Is your knee and your ankle in alignment on that front leg? How's your core here? Can you press down into that standing foot a little bit more and raise your body up a bit more? Really feeling strong here. Really feeling connected, muscles to bone here. And I'm going to take this hand, pull myself back, hovering here. Hovering, hovering, hovering. And then taking this hand down alongside that leg or around my back. Other arm reaches up. Taking a look up. Reaching, grasping for, I don't know, I see a cobweb. Guess that's what I'm grasping for. Need to clean that off of there. But really reaching, trying to bring myself over a little bit more. In fact, I'm going to take that arm so that my bicep comes by my ear. Feeling really connected with my feet, one on the chair, one on the ground. That's where my balance point is there. And then arm reaches up, body follows, both arms come back, taking a look over the chair side. And then I'm taking this hand and I'm reaching, hovering, feeling that in my core. And then taking one hand down alongside the bent knee, other arm reaches up high. Fingers open up wide. My fingers are towards that foot that's on the chair. Maybe looking down to see where my alignment is. Feeling that nice lengthening in the side of my body. And then taking only, if you like, that left arm over. Rising up. Coming up all the way. And exhale, hands come down. I'm going to take that foot off the chair. I want to kind of walk it out here. Get my hips moving. Everything kind of moving around here. And then I'm going to switch sides. Okay. And again, this is a good practice, but if anybody wants to go directly to the floor, they can, but we are going to get there, okay? And know that this is a really good option for those that choose not to go to the floor. All right, so my foot is on the chair, opposite foot, opposite direction, toes facing away, my toes on the ground, facing towards you, everything in alignment here, everything in alignment here. I like working with the chair because it really helps with that alignment piece, okay? My arms come out nice and strong. My fingers open up wide. Use your reflection there to see if you're able to lift your arms at about shoulder height. And if not, that's not a worry at all, okay? But if they are lower, try to have them symmetrical, okay? So you figure out what's going on good for your body and keep that external rotation going with that lifted leg and knee and hip. And you'll do that by putting energy right in this area back here and also by pressing down into that chair. Now I'm gonna look over my hand that's hovering above my bent knee, that thigh. And then I'm gonna start to come over, all right? So I have to stay connected with my weight on both feet to keep me from falling over, right? We don't want any of that happening. And then this backhand can come down or around, other hand lifts, okay? And if you like, if you have the balance, you can look up towards the hand that's lifted, fingers open wide, opening up my heart as well here, keeping breath going in and out of my nose. Taking that upper arm over only if you feel like you want to, if the flexibility is there for you. And again, either looking up, side or down. And raising arm up, body follows, arms expand outward, looking over that front arm again. And then leading with it, taking me over that direction, over, over, over. Then when I feel like that's it, one hand comes down, the other one reaches up, and I feel that nice opening in the side body, pulling back that top shoulder and that outside hip a bit, opening up fingers wide, looking up if I have the balance. Taking breath through my nose, deeply into my belly. Extending arm over, only if that is something you would like to add. Sorry, not worn such a short shirt today. Wanted something with long sleeves. It's a little chilly in the house. My belly's cold. Pull back my shoulder. Lift my arm, lift up, coming back, looking over. And I'm gonna windmill my hands down onto the chair, taking that left foot back, walking back into a down dog. Inhale, rising up, bringing myself up. Taking my hips down into up dog here. And then back into a plank and send my body back. Let's do that again. I'll talk you through it better this time. High on the balls of your feet. Bring yourself forward into plank. If you want to go into up dog, you let your hips come down towards the front of the chair. Your chest rises. Feel that opening in the front, 2 hip flexors there. And then taking yourself back into that plank and sending yourself back. Good. All right, then let's go ahead and bring ourselves up to the chair, lifting up here. We're going to take the back side of the chair one more time. Okay, and this time we're going to let the chair assist us in a crescent pose. And again, some of you may not need that chair assist. So I'm gonna leave my left foot forward, take my right one back, up onto the ball, the foot in the back there, okay? Bend into that front knee, high onto the ball of that back foot, pushing in to the ball, lifting up the hip, my hips forward, my shoulders forward, my gaze forward, and staying here with the chair, or maybe one and or two arms come up, but the chair is there. So work towards where you can for your balance in your crescent pose, right? Chair is there. This is a lot more balance challenge than when you're working with your warrior two, which is very grounded. This one is grounded on that front foot solidly and on the back ball of the foot. So you can lower down a little bit more into your knee, lowering that lower part of your body, but staying high in the ball of that back foot. Keeping your hands on the chair as needed to strengthen yourself. And then taking yourself up, bring yourself back, lengthen through the spine, head to tailbone. And then bringing myself back up. And now I'm going to let my left foot stay forward, my right one come back. No, I think that's what I just did. My right's forward, my left one comes back. Come high in the ball of that back foot. So you switch whichever side, okay? Don't listen to me, I'll just confuse you. And get as low as feels comfortable for you, okay? In fact, you can bounce here a bit, especially if your arms or hands are on that chair. And when you feel like it, only if you do, you can take one arm off, maybe the other arm off, maybe keeping both there, or letting both rise up. You feel you're really stable. All right, and this all takes time. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes determination and confidence. That all has to do with not our age. Don't let people tell you when you get older, you lose your balance. Oh no, it has to practice, okay? And experiencing the challenge of balancing ourselves in a safe way first, and then moving away from whatever tool we're using to strengthen that balance a little bit more. Both legs back, exhale. And then bringing yourself forward here. Chair can be used or not, depending on what you'd like to do. So we're going to go into warrior two without the chair. So that just means that we're going to be a little bit lower on the ground. Again, if you rather stay with the chair, please do, because now you know how to use that. I'm going to come and open up into a five-pointed star here. It's a nice, easy way to get started into our warrior twos. I'm going to take my toes out. This happens to be my right toes. Doesn't matter which ones you use. And my other foot, I'm going to just take that separation from my anatomy and what I'm used to for my posture, separating feet in length and also width, one opposed to the other. A lot of traditional yoga is taught to have that front heel lined up to the back heel. I hear that. I also hear into the instep of that back foot, but really it depends on your anatomy, right? We got to work with that first and foremost. Also depends with your experience in the pose. Some of you might want to be really wide here so that you get a really good balance, okay? So just so you're not ever led off track or feel like you're not doing it right, just because you may hear something like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and bend into that front knee. So here I am in that warrior two, just like I was earlier, only I had my foot up, right? So now I'm going to come over. I'm going to let this hand come down. Really good place right here for a block, if you'd like to use a block to support yourself, okay? And remember, blocks have different heights, or you may find yourself fingers to the ground. If you have long arms like me, you might be holding on to some part of your own anatomy, but find what works for you, where you really feel stable here, okay? And I'm going to take and stretch my arm over into extended side angle here. That looks good, you guys. Good stretching. Yeah. And take it easy, take it slow, take it to the place that feels right for you. Yeah, and then lifting this arm up, lifting my whole body up, coming back, looking over that front arm. This arm now slides down or wraps around, and bring the other one up, staying low and looking up if I feel I have my balance. That feels right. Letting my whole front part of my body open up, chest opens up, belly opens up, staying low. Breathing, breathe, Julie, breathe. And then bringing myself back up, sending my arms out, and then straightening that front leg, sending the toes forward, back into 5-pointed star, a really nice symmetrical pose here. 5-pointed star, then I take my left toes out, and when I find the length and the width, I bend into that front knee, and maybe then I still am adjusting a little bit, okay, to make sure I'm really situated strongly. This is a strong pose, and we don't want to feel teeter-totterish here. So really make it stable for you, okay? Looking over my front fingers. Strong breath. Pulling myself forward, 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 and then taking myself down with the other arm rising up. This front hand can assist with a block. And I like that because I really feel I have some real stability when I use that block. My hand's not just hanging. I'm not trying to get it to the floor. I'm not pushing it into my own anatomy. And if you like, you can lengthen that arm over. Feel that beauty and that grace and that line that you created from fingertips down to the outside of your straight leg there. Pull back that front shoulder, maybe look up. Arm rises, pulling at your navel. Bring yourself up into warrior two. Take a look over that front arm. And then straighten your leg. Turn your toes back. And let's heel toe our feet in. And just as we did down dog and plank in the chair, feel free to do that again. Or you can take it to the ground, okay? And so I'm going to step up to the front of my mat because I'm going to take it to the ground to model that, but please take it into what works for you. I'm inhaling, lengthening up. I'm going to exhale, pull in my belly. Those of you with a chair, your hands go to the chair. Those of you that are working on the ground, your hands come towards the ground. You pull in your navel because you're in that forward fold. And then we half lift. Take your body so that your back is straight. Okay, we practice that in the chair. We're not in the down dog position yet. We're just feet by the chair. Exhale down. This time, taking right foot back, left foot back, into down dog. Doing that in the chair, okay? Tailbones high. Crown reaches away from the tailbone. And that head butt head positioning, okay? Alignment. Walking ourselves back and forth. Letting tailbone rest back. Heels sink to the ground. Hands are on the chair or on the floor. Pulling at your navel. Bring yourself forward into plank. Exhale yourself back. Hands on chair or floor. Inhale forward. And there's no judgment. There's no leveling here. There's no advanced or anything like that. Okay. These are just different aspects of these different asanas. Okay. Please choose what's best for you. Coming forward again into plank. And I'm going to bend into my elbows. Bring yourself up. Hands on chair or ground. Or just holding still there. And pressing back. And from here, we're going to stay in down dog for 2 breaths. Come into plank for 2 breaths. Stay in plank or letting hips come forward. Maybe come onto the tops of your feet into up dog. Hips have a really nice chance here to open up into those hip flexors. Hands on the chair or on the floor. And then flip back to the balls of your feet. Take yourself back, exhale. Walk your feet to the center. Take your hands back to meet your feet. And maybe your hands are on the block. Okay, we're holding in here at the navel. Let your head hang. Maybe your hands are on the chair, letting your head hang there. And then halfway lift, blocks or hands on shins. And exhale down. Bend into your knees. And let's come into a nice little kind of turtle tortoise pose or a yoga ball here. Everything coming in. Taking deep breaths, and I know it's hard because we're in this really tight ball, but still feel your breath expanding in and out onto your thighs. And then let's take ourselves onto our seat, okay, onto the mat. I promise you guys this is where we would end up today. And so here we are. Let's go ahead and have our knees bent as we come down and lay on our spines. And if you'd rather just stay seated in your chair, you can do that as well. Anything can be done any way you want to start it, any way you want to do it, any way that's comfortable for where you are in your space. So if you're seated, just come into mountain pose, laying down. We're releasing our backs towards the ground and our chest upward. Letting our bellies rise and fall. Taking with our bellies, our ribs and our chest. Expansive breath. 2 more, please. We're not done yet, but I just want you to get comfortable being on the ground or being back in your chair. And then take your hands by your heels. If you're seated in the chair, you're just going to do some lifting in and out of the chair. I think it would be good for you for this bridge pose, because this is one that is more difficult to do seated in the chair. Our backs are flat against the chair or the ground, and then we're going to lift our hips up. Arms stay down, pressing into shoulders and arms and feet, back to neck. Exhale down. Neck is free of any pressure here. You're taking this movement into your spine nicely, slowly. Inhaling as you lift. Exhaling as you come down. 2 more, please. And then bring your left foot in towards the center a little more and take your right leg over and let it cross. And we have not done many twists today yet. I'm aware of that. So we're going to build some of those into our practice now. Arms are out into the sides, shoulder height. And I'm going to go ahead and just let my legs come over slowly to the left as I look over my right hand, right shoulder. And I feel that in my waist twist and into the hips and into my glutes. You can really feel what muscles are being affected if you've got sore muscles to begin with, right? So usually I don't feel it so much in my glutes, but I'm feeling it now because of my glutes being worked pretty well yesterday. Pull in your navel, lift your legs upwards with an inhale and let them come over to the right slowly but surely, and feel that in your quadricep, in your gluteal muscles, and take a look over your left shoulder as you just sink into this nice twist here. Inhale your legs up. Total flat spine here. Flip out your legs. Let your legs come over to the right to begin with. Look over the left. And with an inhale breath, bring in your core and bring up those knees. On an exhale, let them come over, controlled to the left, taking a look over your right shoulder for just a little bit of a neck stretch. Did a lot of neck opening at the beginning, and that felt really good. And bring yourself back up. Separating out those legs so that they're free and bringing both knees in. Let's take ourselves into a squeeze hug here. Really pulling the weight of our legs double down onto our abdominal area here. Squeezing in, using the strength that you have in your arms. Chin stays tucked, feet can stay flexed or pointed. Elongating the spine. Can you get a little bit more into the sacral area, almost down to the tailbone here? And then releasing and coming up at a seated position anywhere you'd like. You can roll up, or you can just turn over to the side and bring yourself up into seated. And find yourself in maybe in Sukhasana, easy pose here if that's comfortable for you, or seated in heroes, or make yourself into a nice big diamond shape here. It's comfortable because we're really just going to kind of do a closure of our spine and the work that we've done. So take your right hand down, lift your left one up, and come on over. Your arm up, exhale it down, inhale one arm up, take it over, rising up, exhale it down, one more time each side please, lifting up, take it over. Pinky always knows when the class is just about over, he says, okay, that's about enough, you haven't paid attention to me for almost an hour now, so I've got to make myself known. So take your hands down, and then let's go into a twist. Left hand over your body, pressing down behind you. Take a look. Slowly unwinding from the head on down, lifting up straight and reversing. And taking myself back. Let's do cat-cow 4 rounds, please. Exhale. Inhale. You can be doing this from any seated position you've chosen to do. Seated on the chair. Seated in Tadasana. Seated in Virasana, Hero's Pose, whatever it might be. Let's go ahead and come on up. Hands in our center. Let's just find a few calming, slowing down, coming into homeostasis breaths here.